Hey guys, I've got a new update here. It's a nice one about getting the closest node to the player. Very simple. Usually you want something that's directly in front of the player, halfway across the screen up and down where the cursor is, where you typically will put the little cross cursor in the middle. In the past it was difficult to work this out in the past, actually using the existing two APIs, get collision point of wellward line, which would go through every single triangle of the entire level, to find the closest triangle, and then I would have to run, does that impact within a certain distance I want from the player, then intersect with the list of nodes that I've got in my little local array, the bounding box. I mean, that worked, but it was a little bit not exact, because if you've got two items directly close to the same distance from the player overlapping, it may actually pick the wrong one. If one's further away but it has a bigger bounding box, yeah, so that can happen. So that was not a little bit overcomplicated, this little whole checking for loot, this whole interaction bit of my code in the game. I've simplified it massively now, it's a lot better. I've used a new API to do that, so you don't even need to send through the start and end position, it just automatically gets the camera, position and target and all that, goes through all the nodes, and so it looks at the bounding boxes first to see if the line from the camera to the target, that vector line, within a certain distance, max distance. So you send through, the minimum thing you have to send through is just the maximum distance from the player that it's able to detect. Could be any amount you want. So it can be easily used to see if it's close enough to the player or not. And so first, yeah, this is a more efficient way. Firstly, it goes through all of the nodes in the level to just quickly check if the bounding box, the line intersects the bounding box, and if it does, then go through the triangles of that individual mesh to see if it's got a collision point with that line, which, because it might not, because the bounding boxes are always a lot bigger than the mesh, depending on the mesh. If the mesh is a box, so the bounding box is going to be basically the same. But if it's like some other weird thing like a cone, it's going to have a square bounding box, but the top half of the area around it, over here, around the box of this bounding box, it's not where the mesh is. You don't want to be checking in there. So this will check whether it actually gets a collision with that line to the mesh, and if it does, then give me the best closest node and that position at the closest node. Very simple, returns that out. So you just need to put in the maximum distance from the player. API is CCB get closest node. You can put some optional things in if you want. You've got the node, or you don't want the node, you want the position. You can just put true as the second option. And in the mesh collision detection, if you don't want to include back faces, you just leave it by default. If you want to include back faces, then put false actually as that input. Otherwise you don't need to worry about it. Okay, I got a bit of code, runs every 100 milliseconds. So here it is here. Get closest node. I've just put 25 units distance. Get me the node. Now if it can't find anything within that distance, it won't return anything. It'll actually return like a type of null. So effectively, so in other words, you need to do a check to say if node, or if is something, if it's not null or not zero, then do something with it. So that's your check to see whether it's actually found anything. You just put if the node equals something. In this case, yeah, it'll be. I'm not sure if it's. You could put not equal to 0. In this case, just put something like that. Just put if node, then you can get the name. You can do whatever else you want to do. Print the name here. I'm just printing the name and updating the last name, so I'm not repeating the same thing over and over. But really, that's just the simple bit of API there. And when we run the little test demo, I've got here some objects in front of the player. So you got that, the box 2 there, box 1 there. See that? Watch the cursor, it'll swap over. It's extremely accurate actually. swaps over from, there's box 2, go back down this way, box 1, right on the edge in the middle, it switches over. So it's actually really very accurate actually. Cone, which should switch in a second. It's cone, so that's the cone, yeah. See, that cone has a much bigger bounding box than the actual cone itself. But that's why we need to look at the triangles, not just the bounding box, because it's not. And then down the back, there's box 2, little one there, box 1, back to cone, go over here, there's the ball, go over here, there's the cylinder. Yeah, so it's all working really nicely actually, works really well. Works excellent, just as you'd like it, perfectly. So if you've got objects behind something else, so a cabinet, and something's in a cabinet, you won't be able to access it until you open the cabinet, something like that. So that'll work. That works really well. Now I do have another little API thing, so you can actually measure how long things take now. Before you couldn't do it if it's rounded to the nearest millisecond. That's not accurate enough. So here I've got start timer and end timer. It's all you need. I want to measure how long this takes, and once you hit end timer, after you started the timer, then it will calculate the difference and print off how long it's taken in fractions of a millisecond. So that's what you want. In 2 decimal places I'll put it as. That's enough, should be enough. Yeah, so let's do that. Alright, it's telling me now it's running by default. Every 100 milliseconds it's updating. Anywhere from about 0.1 of a millisecond to about 0.2 of a... Oh, there's 0.32 there, that was weird. 0.4, that's weird. Yeah, it's something a little bit inconsistent with not with the code, but with the frame rate of the game, I would say. I've noticed the frame rate of the game itself, sort of, it does move up and down a little bit here and there, depending on what you're doing. I don't think it's the code, but anyway, so it gives you a pretty good idea how long it's taken to run the code. So I'm running it every single 100 milliseconds no matter what, so obviously it's still running it. But normally you would only run it when you need it, of course. This is just a test demo. This level has got about a million polygons in it. It's quite a lot, actually, for an outdoor scene. This is not really my game, it's just a test demo of bits and pieces. Really just testing only, actually. Different things. It's not actually, my game was going to be, it's going to be better than that. Similar but better. Yeah, so here it is. You can see time taken in the fractions of a millisecond, which is good. So anything in your game you want to measure how long it's taken. If you're sure if it's taken a long time, just put start timer and end timer. Boom. Between the start and the end of the code that you want to check. It actually is a good idea for debugging, actually. If you've got any performance issues that you're concerned about, do that. Yeah, so that works. And on top of that, this same API, if you don't want to return the node, or say you've got the node already, but now you want the position as well, you can just you could just send through a line from start to end, like the normal way. Does get collision point of world with line? You can do that, or you can just use the same API. This is a little bit quicker. It should be more efficient, actually. So now let's use this one. So we don't want that anymore. Actually, we don't need any of that at the moment. Let's just run this part. So pause. So now I want to get the position back, not the node. So in other words, you need to put true as the second option to do that. See that? Get position. Optional, true or false. By default it's false because you're getting the node, but if you want the position, just put true. If you don't have to put something in here, but that's just to ignore back faces. You can just leave it, just put 25 and true. You don't need to put a third thing in unless you want to change it to like, because that's ignoring the back faces, but if you want to include back faces, you put false. But anyway, you can put it in if you want, doesn't matter. So once again, if within a certain distance, you need to check if it's returned something that's not null. So I've got here if pos, as in if position is something that is like true or not equal to null, then I'm setting the position of a certain object, showing you that it's interacting with whatever node I want. I'm moving something to the interact position. I've got a little ball, not very big, but it's showing. See, as I move the center of the screen moves, it moves with it exactly. So it's showing that, just to show if you need the position for whatever reason, it will definitely do that. See, it's too far away over there, it doesn't show anything. It's too way from 25 units, too far away, so it's not going to update. But if it is close enough, yeah, it'll give you the position. Obviously you can make that distance really far if you really wanted to and get something in the distance. You can use it for impact positions when you're shooting or anything you like. And you know, theoretically you could get the node that you're shooting at, and if that node has a different sound when you're shooting at it compared to other things, could be wood or metal or rubber, you could change the sound effect, things like that. Yeah, can be useful. Yeah, so that works. You can see works with the terrain as well. Not that, works with everything basically, which is good, I suppose. Yeah, so that works really well. Hope you like that. Let me know what you think. Cheers.